Baltimore. That team is dealing with a long list of injuries, ranging from their starting QB Jimmy Garoppolo to his main target, tight end George Kittle, wide receiver Deebo Samuel, and running back Tevin Coleman. The Packers will be without running backs Jamal Williams and A.J. Dillon, who are both on the COVID-19 reserve list. Green Bay hoping to have Aaron Jones ready to go. He's been dealing with a calf injury and is listed as questionable. Let's take you to Santa Clara, where we find Omar Ruiz. We're also joined by James Jones as we try to wrap our heads around this Thursday night matchup, guys. Omar, I'm going to start with you because the 49ers are hurt and they are depleted. But as we saw last year on their Super Bowl run, Kyle Shanahan always has tricks up his sleeves in the form of his depth chart.
Hi, MJ. Even as much as the 49ers overcame last year with all the injuries that they faced, Kyle Shanahan said even for them, this is unprecedented. He also said this is a little depressing, but he also added he's looking forward to the challenge that this presents to his team in overcoming this adversity. So you mentioned Jimmy Garoppolo. He'll be out with that ankle injury. In steps Nick Mullins, who played a lot better in Seattle on Sunday than he did the last time we saw him on Sunday Night Football against the Eagles. Part of that reason is because of the connection he's formed with rookie receiver Brandon Ayuk. He said they formed a connection in training camp, and it showed off in a big way as Ayuk set a career high in receptions against the Seahawks. The game before that, he set a career high in receiving yards against New England. Mullins saying that he sees Ayuk's confidence growing every single week. Now, James, one of the interesting comparisons to Ayuk's game in coming out for the draft was Davante Adams, and that was a comparison even Matt LaFleur made this week because of their suddenness, explosiveness, and athletic ability. What do you think about that comparison?
Well, number one, that's high praise for the young fella. That means he's going to be very, very special in the National Football League. But no, when you really watch Brandon and you watch his route running and you watch how he releases off the line of scrimmage, you watch him with his yak yardage after he catches the football, that's every bit of Davante Adams. And he is absolutely explosive with the ball in his hands. You could get him quick screens. You could get him the ball down the field. And that is what DA brings you as well. Quick off the line of scrimmage. Get him screen passes down the field. He'll beat you. They're explosive after the catch. They are special wide receivers. Listen, this dude right here is absolutely special. The best in the game right now, Davante Adams. And Brandon Ayuk gets to see him live in person, just him, no fans in the stands. He could just focus on Davante Adams and really see if he's that type player. But he has all the skills to be like a Davante Adams. I broke him down. I watched a lot of film on him. He is absolutely special. I'm excited for this young man's career. But that is high praise, being up there with 1-7, Davante Adams.
What's interesting is Ayuk said that the Packers were one of the teams he met with in the pre-draft process, and he thought that might have been where he landed. Instead, he was picked number 25 overall by the 49ers, one pick ahead of the Packers' number 26 pick, of course, the developmental quarterback, and Jordan Love. There's been a lot of speculation this week whether the Packers would go for a receiver at the trade deadline. They did not. They'll get an up-close and personal look tomorrow night at what could have been for the Packers at receiver.
This is one of those games where we're just going to have to wait and see who gets on the field and then how quickly the defenses will step up when you guys are talking about two receivers who have gone out and shown out so far this season. Omar and JJ, thanks. All right, it's not quite panic time in Baltimore, but just 9 months removed from the beginning, the second unanimous MVP in league history, Lamar Jackson runs them out. The worst Packers in the season. He had 4 turnovers last week, something that he says he has to get over before Sunday.
I'll get over it, but, it's going to always be in my mind just because we lost that game, and I hate having turnovers. But you got to move on. Just like during the game, if I had a turnover, I'd keep it going, score the next drive, so I can't dwell on it. You got to move forward, and that's what we're doing now. The game is over with. I'm mad about the result, but we'll see them again.
All right, here's a look at how the AFC playoff picture is showing up. So right now, the Steelers, of course, undefeated in the top of that AFC picture there. The Kansas City Chiefs, 7-1. The Bills, 6-2. Titans, 5-2. Wild card, look at the Ravens right there in the hunt. Look, the Raiders, the Dolphins, and the Broncos. All right, Willie, Baltimore needs a boost here. All right, will this be a bounce-back game for the 5-2 Ravens, who face the Colts, by the way, who have the same record.
I know, and that's not a get back on track because it won't be an easy win for the Ravens, but they do need to win. And when you look at what the Colts are doing well, they're protecting Phillip Rivers. He's not giving up a lot of sacks, partly because of that great offensive line. The other part is because he's getting the ball out in 2.5 seconds. If I'm the Ravens, offensively, I'm not really worried about them. If I'm the Ravens, I got to figure out how to get to Phillip Rivers and turn him into what JJ calls them filthy Rivers, where he's throwing interceptions. The 2 games he's lost, he's thrown 2 or more interceptions. They got to make him throw the ball to the Ravens, get pressure somehow. They're missing Matthew Judon. They're also missing Marlon Humphreys. So that's 2 big pieces of their defense. So Wink Martindale, the defensive coordinator, has got to get creative and find different ways to get pressure on Phillip, get him uncomfortable in the pocket, and make him throw the ball to the Ravens. So that's the secret sauce. Other than that, it's going to be tough.
Well, this is the point of the year, too, where everybody has to get creative, get those guys over the hump,
Yes.
especially with added X factors like what we've seen teams dealing with, Willie. All right. Kurt Warner didn't get a gold jacket by just making throws. He had an uncanny ability to read the game, to see what was going to happen before it happened. And that's a skill we can work with. After the break, Kurt's 3 things to look for this Sunday. But first, here's what we overheard today in the NFL.
They've got him!
Football is out.
Well, I think that it was a lot for him. It was frankly more than he could handle.
First, the decision was made to go with the 2 experienced quarterbacks. Obviously, Ben's experience in Sunday night. We all knew the facts going into it.
Brady fires the back shoulder for Brown.
Well, I took a lot of time off for the game, to reevaluate myself, to look within, to get back on track. Is what I'm here to do.
Throws into the end zone. Touchdown! Bengals!
I'm just scratching the surface on where I can be and where I can go. So, that's the most exciting thing for me.
Here comes Watt. JJ with the hit. The ball is out.
Well, no doubt, MJ. I mean, that Seattle offense, and we saw a little bit there, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, obviously Russell Wilson, has been incredible, almost unstoppable. So the onus is going to fall on the Buffalo Bills on both sides of the ball. I mean, let's start with the Bills offense. As Josh Allen started the season, and everybody's talking about him in the MVP mix, right? He's got a chance. He's throwing the ball all over the yard, 300, 400-yard games. A lot of those teams, he was seeing man-to-man coverage and being able to make big plays with his receivers on the outside. Everybody the last few weeks has been starting to play a little more zone, making him process things, and his season has slowed way down. He needs to have one of those big games. And then on the other side, the Bills defense. We all came into the season saying to ourselves, well, if Josh Allen takes that step up, man, this team is going to be a team to contend with because they've got a really, really good defense. Well, that defense hasn't really showed up this year. It's been more about their offense. They gave up almost 200 yards rushing last week to the Patriots. Got lucky with the late turnover that they were able to steal that one and get out of there with a win. But their defense is going to have to step up. It's already hard enough. How do you match up with the guys on the outside? How do you match up with Russell Wilson? It's going to be interesting to see because, as you said, Seattle is playing a lot better right now than the Bills are.
Listen, it's a tall order, no doubt, for Josh Allen, but I think an opportunity for him to go from a really good quarterback to potentially a great one going toe-to-toe with Russell Wilson. Kurt, thanks, and we'll check back in with you a little later to get your 3 QB storylines to watch in Week 9. Let's get to the latest headlines around the NFL. A big hello to Mike Garafolo. Now, Mike, the 49ers shut down their team facility today because of a positive COVID-19 test. So where does the team stand ahead of their Thursday night game versus the Packers?
Yes, MJ, and that was Kendrick Bourne, the wide receiver who landed on the COVID-19 list today. He was the only one. Now, he's the only positive test, but you could still land on that list if you are a close contact, a high-risk close contact. Right now, we don't have any of those. So what does that mean? That means that Thursday night football between the 49ers and the Packers, a game that many were anticipating, is still on as of this moment. The rematch of the NFC Championship game set to be kicked off as scheduled. But the 49ers and the league still going through the process of determining who the close contacts are to Bourne. So that could potentially come tomorrow. We've seen that from teams a day after a guy tests positive. That's when you'll find out about the close contact. So we shall see what tomorrow brings for the 49ers. But right now, all good in that regard and all good as far as kickoff is concerned. Now, I talked about close contacts for COVID. Let's go to Detroit, where Matthew Stafford landed on the COVID-19 list today because he was a close contact to someone outside the facility. And that contact happened on Monday. Now, he's determined to be a high-risk close contact, which means he has to test negative for 5 days before he can come off that list. So the good news for the Lions is he should be ready to go for Sunday against the Vikings, provided he continues to test negative. The bad news is he's not going to be able to practice. And we saw that with the 49ers offensive line, the Raiders offensive line a couple of weeks ago. We're seeing it with the Ravens this week. They've got a handful of guys on the list because they were determined to be close contact. So no Stafford in practice, but looking good, or at least optimistic, the Lions are that they will have Stafford on Sunday.
Things that develop and change literally hour by hour. Mike Garafolo, thank you. All right, Panthers running back Christian McCaffrey was back in pads for Wednesday's practice. Panthers head coach Matt Rule saying that he looked good, sharp, and we'll see how his body responds. McCaffrey hasn't played since week 2 when he suffered an ankle injury. Here's a look at other notable injuries we're tracking in week 9. Colts rookie running back Jonathan Taylor was limited in practice today with an ankle. Meanwhile, some big names on the DNP did not participate list, including Taylor's would-be week 9 counterpart Mark Ingram, who hasn't played since week 6. The same goes for Kenyon Drake in Arizona and Phillip Lindsay in Denver. While Gardner Minshew missed practice with a thumb injury. Remember, the Jags are coming off their bye in week 8. Quarterbacks and defensive ends don't agree on much, but Kurt Warner and our special guest Cam Jordan both share a keen interest this week in a buck named Brady. Kurt's going to tell us how Tom can flip the script from week 1, and Cam's going to tell us how he can't. Plus, why Trubisky better stay loose, why the Dolphins better stay alert, and why the Packers better do the same. Because the most dangerous beast is a wounded beast. We're talking week 9, game 1, Packers and Niners, picks and predictions, still to come on NFL Total Access.
NFL Total Access is brought to you by the General Insurance, coverage you deserve, prices you can afford.
Domino's knows a thing or two about delivery. So when we saw people were getting tacos and burgers delivered like these, we had to step in. Introducing our new chicken taco and cheeseburger pizzas.
What? Oh my.
Now the best way to get a taco or burger delivered is to get a Domino's pizza.
Born free as the wind blows.
Readjusting won't be easy. Start by smelling your best again with Axe. Get clean, smell ready.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, then I look at
Good morning.
and I know it's gonna be a lovely
This is the feeling of total protection. Now that we protect your identity and mobile phone as well as your auto, home, and life, you've never been in better hands. Allstate. Click or call for a quote today.
Thursday Night Football on Fox.
Rodgers wide open for the touchdown.
Aaron Rodgers continues to silence the critics.
Wow, what a catch.
As he leads Green Bay's high-powered attack.
Adams, what a throw. Touchdown.
While San Francisco needs a win to keep pace in the NFC.
He's got it.
Packers, 49ers, Thursday Night Football on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video. We're all here for football.
That is how we start the show, baby.
It's about that time.
We're talking about those epic matchups.
Unbelievable.
That was out of control.
It couldn't get any better than this.
And instant classics.
What a throwing catch.
This is going to live forever.
We're here for the Thursday Night Throwdown.
Wide open.
So we're going to continue to get better.
This was a get-right game.
Sunday morning breakdowns.
Those guys are going to have to step up. Don't sleep on this defense.
And all the inside lowdown.
I got to be a part of that. If I got to carry it 40 times, I'll do that.
He is a star in this league.
Your team. He's got the skills. He's got the speed. Still going. Our team.
The best wide receiver in the NFL.
Every team.
Touchdown.
If it happens in this league,
Why we love football.
we're all here for it.
It's on.
Wow. Oh, are you kidding me?
NFL Network. We're here for football.
Oh, wait. It's going to be a good one.
Snap to Rodgers, four-man rush. Aaron looks, lofts it over the left side of the end zone. It is caught. A sensational grab by Davante Adams. Just a great throw and a sensational catch. Rodgers looks, rainbows right side. He's got his man Davante Adams to the end zone, cutting it back. Touchdown, Green Bay Packers. He scrambles right to buy time. Throws right side of the end zone, leaping grab Davante. So tap the right corner of the end zone, and the Packers have a big score.
All right, mask up and away he goes. The Packers posting this video of Aaron Rodgers heading off to the West to face the 49ers Thursday night. Now, Rodgers has 4 wins and 6 losses against San